Hi, everybody. I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so excited because I am with Mark and Jane. They are doing something absolutely extraordinary, and I can't wait to hear the whole story. Like, I've done some research, but I know there's more, and you're going to love them. They're doing something that I've never heard of being done before for kids, and anybody doing anything for kids, of course, is such a wonderful thing. But this is something really extraordinary. So they have camp, lake camp that they set up in different parts of the country. And it's for kids who have lost their father because of the military, or their first responders, or their police officers, right? And so I'd love to know. Welcome, first of all, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And so, what drew you to want to do this?
I could probably just say very quickly, God opened the door and he shoved us in. So we're drawn as much as he just said no. And choosing you guys and you're doing this for me. So the connection point for us is really middle school age kids. Something that they have our heart because that's really our hearts were impacted faith wise, grew up in Christian families. Don't ever remember not having faith in Jesus as a savior, but in middle school is really connected. So we've always been kind of involved in ministry. And then I've always, I have five daughters. I have five girls I was raised. So I wanted to have a man camp for boys because I had no boys in my life. But that was, I love the outdoors. And so we decided to start doing the boys camp. And we just picked this niche as a spot because we couldn't do a large camp for a bunch of people. And so we designed it 10 boys and 10 men. That's what our camp week looked like. Or girls camps that are 10 girls and five couples so that the men can speak into the girls' lives. But it's really for children who lost dads as a result of the service to the country. We love, we're patriotic. We're grateful for all the U.S. service members and what they do for us. So we're going to stand in the gap for those fallen fathers and help their kids. and that community in particular kiddos, but most of them, 90% of have not been Christian faith. So they come to us without even a Bible, give them a Bible at camp. They teach them about the table of contents, how to look at Bible verses while they're there, and they go home. Then they will go home going to read.
Well, and Jesus is their father. God is their father. I would imagine it'd be a big deal. When you're a kid and you lose your dad, and that's tough. And then when you lose them as a result of somebody else's plan, yeah, right, in play, that's got to be devastating for a kid. Yeah. And how do you so many things like how do you fit in anymore? You're going to your friend's house, their dads are all there, or maybe their dads have never been there, but they haven't lost them the way these kids have. And their moms are home dealing with it, their siblings are dealing with it. And it can be so difficult because of the grief that's going on in the home to be able to separate these kids and give them time to heal more, give them time that special attention is paid to them, and it's fun. And you're bringing fun to them. And sometimes there can be a long time between losing somebody and fun. And so to bring fun back into their lives and kind of give them permission, it's okay to have fun, right? Because sometimes there's a guilt that can come along. Yeah, do you see that?
Hit on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every,
Yeah, I guess one of the first things you said was about in, in we know now that most of our kiddos will not help that they don't know how we got, especially that really important part of this why because not very times becomes they have been moved as when other kids find out that dads were a nation's heroes. Nothing tragedy. Uh, they'll have to deal with the emotional side of that. Not only the dad, all the emotions.
kids last year at camp were there as a result of their fathers taking home whatever campers. And that is obviously the PTSD side of things and the stress and mental part of what they deal with. You hear about that. It's pretty well known now that side of the damage and injuries that people have. So a lot of our kids that has died in sort of killed in action, service-related accidents, but half of the kids, the dads have taken their own lives. It's just so tough for all of us. We're like, you served the country, you went over, you're willing to die for the country, you come home and you just can't connect the dots and that stress. So Janie's come up with through talking to a lot of surviving moms, a way to reinstill these kids' sense of pride for their fathers, that they were service members. They were willing to die for our country. It's pretty admirable. And so a lot of them kind of have a sense of, they're not wearing hoodies that have their dad's name on camp. Like a lot of the kids who come to camp, their dads were killed in Afghanistan. They might have a hoodie that's got their dad's name on it. But these kids are not wearing hoodies with their dad's names on it. But we've been able to open the doors on giving them a sense of understanding that their fathers were servants, servant-hearted men, and just had a different type of injury. So it's been unbelievable, guys, and these kids' lives.
And you mentioned something, and it's so special to see when you have 10 kiddos that all have had the same experience, that they can feel safe. And now you've given them a safe environment to talk and share. Now, you can tell you, and I can tell you a story about when we were at Girl Scout. All these girlies are standing behind me and I'm checking out, and the lead says, "What are you girls all doing here?" And the girlie next to me says, "All of our dad's stuff." And this woman is horrified. She said, "These 10 girls standing in front of her who's all the dad's stuff." And she recognizes that's probably not a good thing, But she also recognizes I could say that out loud. And there's 9 girls behind me that was okay to say that out loud. So she started laughing. And the girls behind her started laughing. I'm pushing them out the door, but they are laughing until they cry together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
night, we had an open conversation and the tears came, but they never get that problem. Right?
Yeah, yeah, it can be so hard. Yeah, with suicide, it's its own animal. It's its own thing, right? Like, people die other ways, and sickness or accidents, whatever, and you don't like it, but there's a cause. But suicide, there's a stigma, and like you were saying, they don't have the names on their back and whatever, and it's such a difficult thing to understand. But when you are in such a dark, dark place, PTSD is for real. I mean, it took years before we recognized, but praise the Lord, we do now. We understand these guys have been through it. And so, of course, they're going to carry it with them. And the suicide rate for the military, it is crazy. It is so sad.
And those kiddos, 25% of suicide themselves.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's heaven. Yeah. My mom had to go that way. And she wasn't military. Like that's how she passed away. And I remember things like, well, how do we tell people? What do we tell people?
Yeah.
What do we say? Right? Like for their whole family that they're in that quandary. Like, we don't want people to think bad of our dad. We don't want them to think, you know, something horrible about them. And so what do we say? How do we address it? What do we say? And then the reaction that you get from people is mixed, except usually not real good.
Yeah.
And then the family can get blamed. And there's just so much to it that I love it that you're working with these kids because who else is? I mean, I don't know of anything like you guys are doing with.
Yeah, we're coming.
Parents that maybe besides the military and law enforcement, I'm not sure the funds offer. But it's a little different. We call it camp, but when you have 10 boys and 10 men that come together, it's almost like 10 dads and 10 sons. And I always joke and say that.
It's 10 boys,
Yeah.
10 men. It's like 20 boys.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, there's 10 boys. Yeah.
So that's the fun part of camp. So, there's the sadness, but as you touched on before, one of our main themes is that although they've lost their fathers, they have a heavenly father that loves them, has a plan for their life, and that's what we want them to know. So that weekend camp is archery and games and hiking and swimming and king of the raft, and just fun, And then lessons, we got a curriculum Jamie built that is focused on character lessons, so resilience, we have a lesson on integrity, resisting addictions and pornography. I don't know if there's any kids out there that might see pornography today, but I think
maybe.
maybe
And middle.
it's a possibility.
Possible, yeah.
So we know every kid's gonna see it, and nobody's talking about that either. And so there's all these things, and just like we're gonna have Life Camp USA take on these things front and center, show them. You know?
Wow.
And that's the camp portion of the program, and then follow-up program. So once a month, once a week, they can come to the Bible study. And then once a month, they get together with just the kids from their camp. And this has all been virtually because our mentors and our campers come home as far as Alaska to exposed. So,
Yeah, our goal is to be there for them. Obviously, the week have a mountaintop, but then follow that up with the monthly Zooms with their specific camps, and hopefully over those next year to 2 years, we're able to get them plugged into ministry back home, to church. So it's a challenge. They're middle schoolers. 90% like I said are on church, so they're not going home and their moms are saying, "Hey, let's go to church." It's new for them.
Right.
We have great mom stories of moms going back to church for the first time since their husbands died. So God's moving back in the home. But we really want to get these kids plugged in back to walk
like Campus
with Jesus
Crusade,
back
Young
home.
Mind.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So that's our goal is to, because we have a phenomenal week. They're all over the country, and so are mentors. So it's a long distance thing, and so it's always best to be with someone in your community that can help invest in us. And it's part of the program.
Yeah. Wow, I love it that you have follow-up because there are a lot of programs that don't. And it's that week and then you go home and you're on this high and then slowly you go back down to where you were. So what are some changes that you see from day one to last day?
Um,
Lots. We can't be over 5 hours,
Yeah.
but it's also
one of the stories that's shared is about a boy who came to camp. So angry that the first night at camp, Mark said around the campfire, successfully assaulted around the campfire.
Quite an achievement.
Yep, yeah, exactly. It was.
That's
Yeah, no, but he was insulting Navy SEAls. He was insulting everybody. It was basic. So we have a unique group of mentors. Half our mentors are law enforcement guys themselves. So a kid came in and said he was going to die in action. Mom did the trick herself to death. And so he was end of this. His grandma in Alaska came to camp and angry young kids. So,
I
but
love the mentors and being like safe communities. People home. Different young man hugging his new friends, telling them he loved them like a brother. And about 2 months after camp, he had a chaplain he was at the military that he spoke to about rooted in faith, who took him to the next step and he was baptized and sent him a picture. His baptism at school. We have lots of women. Can you imagine? The story doesn't really when someone loses their life for them to their service, whether it's inside. That's not the end of the story. We have the women, children left that each one of those pictures is serving and doing right. So we can plant seeds and those seeds are really sticky. So even if some of the kids don't engage right away, the follow up, we know that those seeds that were planted that week's experience could stick in their heads.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. And I gotta say, what a blessing from right? Like, just I know that I have 5 kids, and I know that if one of them was gone, it changes the dynamic of the home, and somehow it's easier for I don't know whatever, and it didn't even matter what it was, but it just changes the dynamic because the numbers change, and you got kids, so maybe you experience the same thing. But I would think for a mom to know that there's a place that their son or daughter is going, that they feel good about that week, they feel good about what's going to happen during the week for them, that it's got to give them this benefit as well.
totally. Well, that's one of our things is I think we here sharing this with you because we have spots open for campers and we're looking for kids and being a newer organization and not a common type thing, moms don't realize that this is actually out there. So the lessons we're teaching the kids, the moms, they're not even talking about pornography because they don't even know how to talk to their son about that, right? So we're standing in the gap for the dads and the moms in a way, right? And so if there's any families out there that hear this, know of families we can help, it's all expenses paid. We cover all the costs for the families. And we just want more and more kids to hear about that camp. moms hear about that and have a pretty special experience. So.
Yeah, yeah. So spread the word. Spread the word. Let people know that this even exists. So if you know somebody or know somebody who knows somebody, put it on your social media.
USA.org.
Lifecampusa.org. Yeah, put it out there so that the camps can get full because there's certainly lots of kids out there
Yes,
that
totally.
need that and they just need to know about it. So how does it work for you? You don't have your own camp. You actually use other camps.
Yeah, we go into camps, kind of smaller locations. So we kind of joke about some of our, unique aspects to life camp. So people are like, well, "What do you do?" So some camps kids are wakeboarding, and there's 200-300 kids in a camp. Well, our kids are like rubbing sticks together, trying to make a fire and survival skill class. So we really don't want them seeing kids wakeboarding right next to us. But that's kind of a crappy camp. We'd rather wait, but they love the wilderness side, the survival skills we teach them. We send military guys, mentors, so shelter building, fire starting, and then the lessons are survival on base too, where we teach them how to use a map and compass the first thing, and not Google Maps either. So it's actually a map.
Oh,
Can you imagine that?
no.
So, and then that afternoon we'll have a lesson on they're giving their Bibles and backpacks and stuff. And then we talk about the Bible being their map and compass for life. This can be your map for life. And learn about direction, heading, things to why this is important to not get lost. And we tie to God's word. You follow this book. It's going to be like your map. So
we go to
the less.
and the locations are smaller. So like a guest ranch or a dew ranch works really well for us. They have a smaller feel location like that. And then a lot of the locations have like things to do with the mountains that are fun for the kids because that's very unique. They have a hike and to raft and horseback ride. I think it's pretty special.
Has it been easy for you to find?
Pretty easy, actually.
Yeah.
Gratefully, praise God. We thought the things we thought would be hard were finding mentors to take a week off of work to go to camp with a middle schooler.
Yeah.
Not everybody's number one desire for their week of vacation.
Like, do I go on a cruise or do I go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I get on vacation, when I come home after a day with
Right.
middle schoolers,
Right.
but it's been so fulfilling. I've been blown away. So most of the guys come back, they want to be mentors again next year. So we've been blessed with that. In the camp locations, they want to stand in the gap too. They want to lock the military. So many of the guest ranches for like, hey, it's a week. It's summer, so which is their times to be busy also. So we've been really blessed by people's openness to give us posters. We want to pay these places, so we don't ask people for free. We pay because a lot of camps are struggling today. Places are not financially great things. So, but
Yeah, it's a cost for us that we can afford. I also feel like they're able to use their summer, yeah, to get back to school.
versus just
Oh yeah, they've got to feel good.
our biggest thing has been campers. That's been, I thought the mentors would be hard to find. Finances have been good, and it's 100% donor supported. So if anybody wants to support, you can go online with buy more speaker. It's
Yeah.
for the campers are really the biggest thing we want to get out there for people to share with things. So as God's done, it's seed planting, it's harvesting all in 1 week. God's thrown us away. The moms get impacted. Said 90% of the kids come like camper on church and we'll look after them and the kids said follow Jesus at camp, which would be kind of amazing. So we're blessed to be a part of it.
Wow, what a blessing! What a gift to give a kid! What a gift! Because you remember, I remember camp. Like you remember camp your whole life, right? I mean, yeah, it's a big thing. No matter what the immediate outcome.
Yeah.
There's a long term thing. That's certainly, yeah, but at the same time, you remember the stuff, remember the songs and the stories.
They could go to camp to Navy SEAL.
Oh my gosh, so the
Definitely
camp
remember that
Navy
too.
SEAL. Yeah, yeah, no kidding. That is a big deal. Yeah.
We're hoping that you might think of it in high school or maybe when they're in the ditch, not doing stuff they should do. They remember back to, man, I that week of those 10 guys that said, hey, God's here for you. You have a father. And that brings them back to kind of an anchor point.
And they know that they can reach out to them. So I'll get these text messages that The boys don't really get into the group text messages that much, but the girls, it is hilarious. And also my phone will go up, there'll be 53 things on there. Or because somebody got their haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Really sweet.
Yeah, yeah, I love it that they stay in touch and that you have that door wide open. But you plan it. You make it intentional. Because you leave camping, you leave touch. It's wonderful to be able to have that ongoing support. That's got to be a huge part of their whole experience.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully they take us up on it. We're there
right,
for 'em.
right, exactly. So you don't have personal experience with this people. This just came because you
Yeah.
just felt like,
Yeah, we had some military organizations that we got involved with. Just they exposed us to that community. The fact that those women and children were serving in a sense alongside, one that's so. And then all of a sudden that life came in, but their whole community came too. Yeah, so they're left sort of trying to figure out a family. What's next? So
right, which for any family that's difficult if they do lose a parent. But man, I can't imagine like all of a sudden you have to move off base. And you have to find a new place to be. You got to figure out what life is going to look like. His kids probably need to change schools. I mean, so much to it that is far beyond what most people have to go through. And the other people, it's already through. So I can't imagine all the struggles, all the different things that they face. Yeah.
It's kind of, touch base on the community thing. It's sad. I mean, God's got us in the spot. We have other ways to say, stay there, be in that spot. Some of the Christian on base organizations that are like, when the service member dies, the leader of that ministry says, we can count the days until the family's gone. So their dad died and both families off base. And now these kids that had a ministry connection, they're off base out of the city, and lots of times the moms don't want to be in that community too. It's their support structure, but now they're different. They're the one that lost their husband. And I'm really not same anymore. It's just a really tough.
can you imagine a lot of those families have moved around a lot as they now get to for the reason that
a lot of pain and it's like given so much. We're just like, so we're inspired up to serve law enforcement too. I mean, number of law enforcement guys dying. There's the app of the called Officer Down Memorial page that I would sort of look at. We look at that every couple of days. It dings with an officer getting killed, going to domestic violence, or just pulling over someone for traffic violation. I mean, they're getting killed every week. That app will ding. Really, these families, are so unknown, but serve when they're willing to again risk their life for us. So we hope people come alongside us and help us in the mission to get to reach these families. So
Yeah, 100%. So this sounds like the things that you really need are campers and money,
that's
right? Yeah, yeah. And I'll make sure that the information too is like in the show notes and whatever, where people can go and donate. But donate, like what a great cause this is. And I would imagine you a one-time donation, monthly donation. Monthly donations are always wonderful. Yeah, so that you have some reliable.
And to get our newsletters and quarterly, we don't overblast anybody, but just to keep them aware of what's happening, seeing stories of kids, what's going on in campus in the month. So yeah.
Well, and what a great newsletter to get. It's got to be something to do.
That's encouraging.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for what you're doing. Thank you so much. Yeah. 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 Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful for you guys because you are filling a gap that I don't know. Most people need to think of. And so what a wonderful, beautiful thing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Support them, support them, support them. This is big. Like if you're looking for something to give your money to help out with, this is like tangible. This is real. This isn't like just I'm sending it overseas and hopefully it gets somewhere or whatever. This is real life.
Invest in these families.
Investment. What an
The future, the
investment.
kids' future.
Exactly, exactly. It's gigantic. So I encourage everybody out there to get up and look you guys up. And thank you for joining us. If you know somebody who should be a camper, could be a camper, know somebody who knows somebody, know somebody who this episode would really be good for them to watch, please pass it on to them and let them see, bless them with it. And I just want to say that until we see each other again, I pray that you keep your heart open and you live your love well.